I had always been drawn to the serenity of the wilderness, the allure of untamed landscapes. So when my friends suggested a camping trip deep into the heart of the forest, I eagerly agreed. Little did I know that the tranquility of the woods could shroud unimaginable horrors. We arrived at the campsite late in the afternoon, our tent set up beside a glistening lake framed by towering pines. The forest whispered with secrets, but I dismissed the feeling as mere nerves. As night descended, our campfire cast flickering shadows across the trees. We huddled around it, sharing stories and laughter, trying to drown out the eerie sounds that now surrounded us. Rustling leaves, distant howls, and the occasional snap of a twig beneath an unseen foot. Hours passed, and I retired to my tent, zipping it up against the encroaching darkness. But sleep eluded me. Instead, I lay there, listening to the sounds outside. They grew louder, more insistent, and I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching, waiting. As the hours dragged on, I heard the unmistakable sound of footsteps approaching. Heavy, deliberate, and far too close for comfort. I held my breath, my heart pounding in my chest. Then, a voice, soft, almost a whisper, spoke just outside my tent. It called my name, a sinister parody of familiarity. I knew it couldn't be one of my friends. They were all in their tents. Fear gripped me as the voice grew louder, closer, its words becoming more twisted and incomprehensible. I dared not move, dared not make a sound. I clutched my flashlight like a lifeline, my knuckles white. The thing outside my tent seemed to circle, its shadow passing over the fabric in erratic patterns. The night air grew icy cold, and the atmosphere thickened with dread. I couldn't bear it any longer. I had to see what was out there. With trembling hands, I unzipped the tent just enough to peer outside. What I saw would haunt my nightmares for years to come. A figure stood in the moonlight, its form hunched and grotesque. Its skin was pale, nearly translucent, and its eyes were hollow voids. It wore tattered rags that hung from its emaciated frame like funeral shrouds. The thing's voice had grown into a chilling wail, echoing through the forest. It was no longer calling my name, but uttering incomprehensible guttural sounds that seemed to tear at the very fabric of reality. I stumbled backward, falling against the tent's far wall, my heart thundering in my ears. In that moment, I knew I had to escape. I fumbled for my phone, praying for a signal, but the screen remained blank. Then I heard it, a chorus of voices, my friends calling for me. The thing outside my tent recoiled, its wail turning into a blood-curdling shriek that reverberated through the woods. With newfound courage, I unzipped the tent and burst out into the cold night. My friends were there, their faces pale with terror. They had heard the voices too. They had seen the thing. We fled the campsite, leaving behind our gear and the unspeakable horrors of that night. We never returned to the woods, and we never spoke of what happened. But I still hear that chilling whisper in my nightmares, and I can't help but wonder, what did I glimpse that night in the heart of the forest? And what would have happened if I had answered that sinister call?